Hey guys, my name's Anne and I have a sore throat after getting vaccinated. It's been like days already, so I don't know what's happening. Also, I have a fan fanning me because it's super hot here in Greece. And you can also hear the, how do you call it, the cicadas? So if you don't mind my hair waving, today I'd like to talk about a book mostly everyone loves, but I didn't, so I can already feel hatred coming at me. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. Okay, so today I'd like to talk about The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It's Coelho. I don't know. Here in Greece, everyone calls him Coelho. So I'll go with that. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I hesitated making a review for this forever. Also, this fan is so annoying. I gave The Alchemist like 2 stars, which is the lowest ranking I've ever given a book. And it feels weird because I'm always very lenient when it comes with rating books. There we go. I remember I was on vacay in Alanisas like years ago, before the pandemic. And I was hoping to see a sale when I started reading it. And then it turned out like, after a few pages, I just hated it so much. I wished I had found a book eating sale or something so I can fit it to it and I wouldn't have to read anymore. Of course, I'm kidding. I know there aren't any paper eating sales. That would be awesome though. So let's start with the summary and then I'll go through all the things I didn't like about this book. This will be fun. Santiago, our protagonist, is a shepherd and he shall want. He has some recurring dream of a child, I think telling him to go to Egypt. When he explains this to a gypsy, she tells him that he must go to the pyramids in Egypt to find some hidden treasure. Oh well, take advice from a stranger. After that, Santiago runs into a mysterious old man who tells him that everyone has a personal legend. And that legend they must follow. And he told him that he must listen to the omens in order to seek his personal legend. Apparently, Santiago's personal legend is to find a treasure, and that's how the adventure begins. And then weird things happen throughout the entire story. In the end, Santiago digs where he thinks he'll find the treasure, but some people bit him up and steal his gold. And weirdly, one of them mentions that he once had a dream of a treasure buried in an abandoned church in Spain. Apparently, many people in this book believe in dreams and magic powers. The magic power of dreaming. I hope this fan doesn't create noise for the camera. I mean, I've positioned it specifically to like come at me the whole time, not like the other day, but it was fanning me and the camera. It was turning, and then you could hear on the video, you could hear. These are the symptoms of the vaccine. I think it's just that I don't have fever anymore and I feel kind of euphoric. Moving on. Many people believe in dreams in this book, and not only do they believe in them, but they also like dream something in their sleep, and then they wake up and they remember it, and then they also pursue the dream, which is kind of weird. The book ends with Santiago digging up the treasure in the church where the whole story started. And then he gets ready to go back to Egypt to find a young lady he had met. There's a love story here. Yeah, and he wants to go find that very pretty young girl in Egypt because there are no women in Spain, obviously. And I suppose this time Santiago might get to Egypt faster because now he's a magician too, and he could be the wind, so maybe he will turn into the wind and go to Egypt. I don't know. That's a story I'd like to read. Perhaps I didn't get the point of the book, and I think that's the case. Or perhaps it lacks something, and I think that's also the case. If a personal legend is like the purpose in life, I personally would have been devastated if I was Santiago. I mean, there are so many things to do out there, like why is his only purpose, his sole meaning in life, to find a treasure? I always expected throughout the entire book that the treasure was some kind of metaphor, like a metaphor for the meaning of life, not the actual meaning. I mean, that's what the story is about, isn't it? Like, the treasure had to be some sort of discovery about himself, something greater than life. I was wrong. Through the entire book, I was like, what is this man doing in his life? He's pursuing dreams, literally, the dreams that he dreams when he's sleeping, not dreams like his calling or something, that his passions. It's just like he's literally pursuing his dreams. This man is supposed to teach us something. He's supposed to teach us a life lesson, I think, through this book. And all he does is take his dreams seriously. When I was 13 or so, I kept dreaming of my grandma every single night. And every single night she came to me and she told me that she's here to fetch me. Fetch me. So terrifying. And I'm so glad I hadn't read The Alchemist before that, because that would have been a very traumatic experience. So creepy. And while I was reading this book, I was wondering, like, was my grandma trying to show me my personal legend? Was she? I hope not. No one wants to follow their dreams, literally. We want to follow our callings and our passions, in plural, because people have many passions. I really don't understand where the author was going with this. I don't know what the story was trying to say. I have no clue at all. Because if the lesson learned at the end of the story is that Santiago was happy where he was to begin with, because the treasure ended up being in Spain and not in Egypt, then why is he going to Egypt again? He like learned that happiness, like the treasure, his happiness is where he is. Like, he had to go through that whole adventure. He went to Egypt and then he got back to realize that his treasure is where he was already, like his happiness, I suppose. But then why does he leave again for Egypt? It's so confusing. I think I'm going to end the video here and split it into 2 parts. So yeah, that's part 1. Next time I'll talk about the other issues I have with this book, which are the inconsistency in the story and the mixed messages, which are also very confusing. Okay, so bye for now, and I hope to see you again in my next video. If you don't hate me already for hating on The Alchemist. Also, before I leave, I never understood why the title was The Alchemist. I mean, shouldn't it be something like The Adventures of Santiago or The Adventures of a Shepherd? Where does the alchemist fit in the story? I mean, he appears like just a little bit. Yeah, so frustrating. Anyway, see you next time with the rest of the review. I'm gonna be filming it now, so next time. So in the next video, I'll still have a sore throat. Just saying, because I'll be filming it now. Yeah, I think you got that. Bye.